the fact that we're able to do a show with 4 women and be somewhat well received, I think really speaks to the fact that our fan base really supports diversity and supports women in football. Hayden Hurst, the tight end. First of all, I like him because he's a ginger. Second of all, I like him because it's all about mental health. That's what every team needs, is a ginger and somebody who's all about mental health.
I loved everything Urban Meyer. It made me feel better about everything. I'm his biggest fangirl right now. I would give him a lap dance if I could.
Gives a new meaning to the term steak hooker, I guess.
The what?
Gives a new meaning to the term steak hooker. You never heard of a steak hooker?
WHODEY say gon' beat them Bengals. WHODEY say gon' beat them Bengals. No!
What's up, everybody? WHODEY, and welcome back to Tigress Talk. This is our season 3 kickoff. We're so excited to be back and talk with you guys. But if you're new here, we are Tigress Talk. We are the first and the only Bengals show created by women. I am Jess, aka WHODEY, and I am joined by 2 of my favorite Bengal besties. We've got Kayla holding it down over in Northern Kentucky, and one of my favorite Floridian Bengals fans is our friend Jerry. Now we're missing Whitney tonight because yesterday was her birthday and she is living it up for her birthday, and we fully support that. So Whitney couldn't be here tonight, but we appreciate all of you guys being here and joining us. We've got Stranger 4420 says WHODEY, what's up? Tyler's here. He says WHODEY Tyler. Greg's here. WHODEY ladies, welcome back. Thank you so much, Greg. Greg says, ready for Luther Vision. All right, we ready? I can't look at the camera because I look crazy. So, all right, Greg, hope that was good enough for Luther Vision. Darth Bengal is here. Good evening, ladies. WHODEY, what's up? Rob is here. He says, hello, Rob. Thanks for being here. Jeff is here. He says, WHODEY, Jeff. Christina and McKenna are here. Hey, Christina and McKenna. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. My unpaid intern in my living room says WHODEY. And Mary's here. What's up, Mary? She says WHODEY ladies. WHODEY Mary, good to see you. Lisa's here. WHODEY Lisa. Matthew Zimmerman says WHODEY ladies. WHODEY Matthew. And Rob says hello, ladies. What's up, everybody? Thank you guys all so much for being here with us. If you're new here, please subscribe. This is not going to be our usual show format, but we'll have all kinds of great stuff for you throughout the off season. And then, of course, as the season kicks up, we'll go back to our weekly schedule. So please subscribe if you found us, and welcome in, everybody. So, the draft. That was a fun weekend. Did you guys enjoy that?
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty excited for Lou. He better be thrilled.
Our best buddy Lou, who stayed. Praise all the gods that we got Lou Anarumo back, and he stayed, and he got, boy, I bet they just let him do it. Like, Lou, if you stay, we will do whatever you want.
My favorite thing was when Brian finally went to talk to the media when we finally drafted an offensive person, and he had on a name tag that said, "Hello, my name is Brian."
I love it.
That was so funny.
That is awesome. WHODEY Joe's here, says WHODEY ladies, WHODEY Joe. Cap says Lou got hooked up. He did. Dalton's here. What's up, Dalton? He says WHODEY ladies, WHODEY Dalton. Yeah, that was a very defense heavy draft. We're going to get into all the picks. First though, I want to talk about all the draft parties I went to, because I've never been to 2 draft parties in Cincinnati before. Usually it's just the Thursday night one of the draft. The Bengals will host something that we usually will go to if we're in town. And that's always fun. This year, I feel like they even stepped it up a little bit. There was all kinds of cool stuff. Ted Karras was there. He had signed posters that were this mural that was really cool. I posted about it. They let everybody kind of paint on it. It was really fun. And they had obviously the mural there. They had a bunch of legends that were there signing autographs. So that was fun. Ickey Woods was there. A bunch of the older guys were there, so that was a lot of fun. But then on Friday night, we got to go to the First Star Bengals draft, and I'm wearing my shirt that I got from there. But it was the First Star Logistics first annual Bengals draft party, and they gave us T-shirts, so I was really excited about that. But they had Logan Wilson there. They had Dave Lapham was talking. They had Coach Kyle Kasky is our good buddy. They had him kind of remote in for the show. So yeah, man, it was a great weekend all around. Even aside from all the awesome pickups we got for our team, I was really thankful and appreciative to First Star for having us out on Friday night. That was a really good time. Did you guys catch any of that?
I was living I was on baby duty. My husband was out of town. So I was living vicariously through everyone's posts from all the parties and all the fun.
Same.
So.
Yeah, it was such a good time. It was a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to it next year too. If we don't go to Detroit, we'll definitely probably hit up that again because that was a lot of fun.
You looked incredible both nights, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. It was a good time. We had fun. Let's see. What do we got going on in the chat here? We've got Stranger 4420 says, and Ludini, I touched. Absolutely. Kevin says, Bengals captain has a great beard. I hope you heard that, Kevin. Cap says, thank you. Who's going to cook now? Bengals got him the goods in the draft. Says Matthew. Yep. Agree. Greg says, not going to lie. I thought it was going to be Michael Mayer, but after thinking it over, I'm so excited for Miles Murphy. Put more pressure on the QB. Yeah, I think a lot of people thought the same way as you, Greg.
Yeah.
Rob says, those Steelers guys singing the WHODEY song just being stupid. Oh my, did you guys see that?
I did.
I was so shook. I was like, talk about rent free. I mean, that is the literal definition of rent free. This is your draft night. You are all about your team and what your team is going to do this year. And you're talking about the Bengals on your draft? Like, that was just so bizarre to me. That was just, you guys saw that.
I instantly started like cracking up.
I did too. I was laughing so hard. It was insane. Yeah, Bengals captain said it was great hanging out with Icky all night. Yeah, Icky was at both parties, also like us. I think us two and Icky were possibly the only people that were at both parties. but First Star had like a really cool setup, and they had this little VIP area where we were just chilling, and Icky Woods was just like shooting the breeze with us all night. It was really awesome. Mama Pam's here. She says, hey, sweet girlies. Hey, Mama Pam. And happy belated birthday to Mama Pam also. It was Mama Pam's birthday 2 days ago. So glad you had a good birthday. Cap says, Logan's wife was the sweetest. Logan was super awesome and appreciative of all fans. Yeah, they were both extremely kind human beings. And I follow his wife on Instagram also. I try and follow all the wives and girlfriends on Instagram. But she's so sweet and was really nice in person also. Greg says, steal of the Bengals draft, Princeton wide receiver, Andre Yoshivash. I practiced that and I still messed it up. A lot of upside. Yeah. We're going to get into all the picks here in a second, but yeah, that was good. WHODEY Joe says, we kept joking how they were targeting these good looking fellas in the draft. Turner, Yoshivash, Chuck Sizzle, and my wife's new crush, Chase Brown, as if this team didn't have enough heartthrobs.
We have some to add to our smile list, I think.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. For sure. We're putting that on the to-do list for this year. That's for sure. Kelsey says, how about that speech by our boy Phil? Can I just say, like, I could not love Phil more.
I know. My boss texted me. My boss texted me immediately after that and said, I hope he has like bodyguards in Kansas City because they're not going to let him out of there.
Honestly, though, I feel like everyone kind of took it in stride, you know?
I love that every time we drafted somebody, the crowd would boo because it was mostly Kansas City fans. And I'm just like, keep booing.
Yeah.
Also, rent-free, bring us back to that. But yeah, that whole Phil thing was so funny. And I feel like, I can't remember, but I feel like somebody tipped us off the night before and said he might do that. And I was thinking to myself, like, how's that going to work? But then his speech and everything was so perfect. I was just like, you go, Phil. Way to be an awesome fan. I actually got a chance to talk to Phil one-on-one because he had a drawing for his Super Bowl trip because he had already planned his own trip when he won the Fan of the Year. So he had this drawing, but there's these smaller prizes that you could win in his drawing. And so we entered and we won a Ken Anderson signed something, I think, signed print maybe. And so I went to his jewelry shop to pick it up from him. He's got a jewelry shop over on Coleraine Avenue. So I went to pick it up from him, and I got to talk with him one-on-one. And he's a really interesting guy. He is Cincinnati through and through. He really is. He's been going to these games. He's been going to every away game for years and years and years. He was telling me about Reds players he would have over to his home for dinner, like just a really cool guy with a lot of really cool stories. But
that's awesome.
Stranger 4420 says, "Don't forget Mr. Mustache." Yes, that we will not forget about Mr. Mustache.
He has already made such an impact on me between the mustache and the call and the. I mean, this guy is just going to be content for days, I feel like, for the Bengals social media team.
Yeah, it's going to be crazy. John Ashbrook says, "Can't wait to watch Dax and Battle next year." Yeah, how cool of a name is that too? Battle.
Yeah.
What a great name. Rob says, "Since the Bengals stole Jordan Battle from us in the draft, I think Tigress Talk owes me Skyline Chili for that. Just saying." Hey, Rob, you come to Paycor. We got Skyline Chili at Paycor now. So you come to Paycor and I will buy you some Skyline Chili at Paycor. Yeah, Cap says Battle is such a badass football name. It really is. Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into these picks. So I think Greg kind of touched on it, but a lot of people wanted the tight end, but with pick 28, we got defensive end Myles Murphy from Clemson. And one of the things that I have started looking at this year, and full disclosure, before I even start this, full disclosure, we are not the draft people. I very much appreciate all the people who dive into all of these prospects ahead of time, the people that go through and they scout all this stuff. That will never be me. So thank you so much to all the people who do all of that work. That is incredible. Having said that, when I hear about these guys, when the Bengals draft them, is usually the first time I'm hearing about them, unless they went to Ohio State or Auburn or something like that. So full disclosure, I'm not the draft expert, which is why you've not heard from us leading up to the draft, because that's just not our cup of tea. So full disclosure, this is very much just kind of my impression from what we know about them so far. But one of the things that I thought was really interesting this year, that I heard more about this year, that I haven't, I've heard about it in years past, but I really feel like this year was the first year that maybe the Bengals utilized it and things like that. And that's the relative athletic score, the RAS. Have you guys heard of this? Mm-hmm. This RAS. So it's actually really cool. I was kind of looking into the formula that kind of goes into it. And basically it's like they grade all of their plays and then they compare them to all the same position. They compare them to the same guys in the position group, and then they come up with their relative athletic score. And the Bengals didn't draft anyone below average for their RAS that they had. And most of their picks were well into the range for the metric. So I thought that was really interesting to me, because I'm kind of a person that kind of likes statistics a little bit, not like a lot like some people, but I think that they're interesting when you can use them in creative ways like that. So I thought that was really cool. If you're interested, there's a guy on Twitter. It's at MathBomb, and it's Kent Lee Platt is his name on Twitter, and he's the RAS guy. So anyway, I've been probably got way too deep in all that, but basically, the defensive end Myles Murphy was by far, I think, the best player available. From what little I saw, most people had him graded to go earlier in that first round. So the fact that we got him at 28, I think a lot of people were surprised by. I think even our Bengals people were surprised that he was still available at number 28, and so that's why they ended up taking him. He was a 5-star recruit out of high school. One guy said he had a relentless motor, and we love hearing about all those high motor guys and things like that. So that's awesome. And I truly believe he was the best player available. And I think for his size and his speed, I think he's a real rare talent to have somebody who's that big and can move like he can. So I think that's really exciting. I think he's got a lot of upside. I think he's going to really give our guys our tried and true guys like Sam Hubbard and Trey Hendrickson. I think he's going to kind of be able to rotate in there and give them a break every now and then, keep them fresh. They can finish out games strong and things like that. So I'm really excited. I think he can be a day one starter, and I'm really excited about him.
It was so funny. The day before the draft, Caleb and I were like filling out like what we think was going to happen, and I sent him mine. I was like, well, mine's not very realistic. We ended up with Myles Murphy. I'm pretty sure he's going to go like way before.
No way, Kayla.
Yeah. I mean, the rest of it, horrible. I did a horrible job. So.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Craig says, I did not do research on Murphy just because I didn't think he was going to be there. Yeah, I think a lot of people were really shocked by that. Houday Joe says, Dan Horde said today that the Bengals only had 15 guys with first-round grades, and Murphy was one of them.
I mean, they got the pick in, like, quick. It was like we were on the clock, and then they put it in. So
I think they were like, holy, this guy's still there? Like, get him.
And I think that's why so many people were shocked that we didn't take Mayer, because I think they thought
he was gone.
He was there.
Yeah.
That
I certainly was not
we were
paying
going to take him right away.
Yeah, I don't pay attention to who everybody else drafts. And then everybody around me was saying like, oh, it's got to be Mayer. It's got to be Mayer. It's got to be Mayer. And I was like, okay, great. Awesome. Whatever. I'm just having a great time. Really. So then they picked that and everybody was kind of like, huh. I think again, a lot of people thought that he was gone already.
Yeah. I was surprised just because that was one of the only guys that I really knew in the draft, because I'd heard his name so much because I know so many people wanted him. And my logic too was we love hometown guys, and he's a hometown guy. So I was like, oh, it's absolutely going to be him. So I was shocked when we didn't select him, but I wasn't like upset. It was just more like, oh, I don't really know who this guy is, but I got to go find out now.
Yeah. Caleb says you got the first 6 picks correct in our mock. Wow. That's pretty darn good.
We knew who number 1 was going to be before.
Of course, yeah.
I don't want to be a draft analyst. I would be more one to me ever.
Yeah. Oh, Sarah said, oh, welcome back, ladies. Hi, Sarah. Thank you. We're glad to be back. Josh says, great miss on Mayer. Irv is a vet, and tight end, really not a huge need for offense anymore. Yeah. That's another really good point. So
yeah, I'm really excited for Irv Smith. We really haven't gotten to talk about him since we've been, in the off season, and I'm thinking he's going to be really great for us.
Absolutely, yeah. All right, so Myles Murphy was pick number 28 in the first round. Then pick number 60, we got cornerback DJ Turner, the second from Michigan. And I think Rob already commented, cornerback Turner is very fast, moves quick. Yeah, he was actually the fastest player in the combine. He was a 4.26, and I think people projected him to go maybe even in the first round based off of that. So the fact that he was there, the fact that he has such a high RAS was one of the reasons why they took him there. So that's really exciting. I don't love Michigan, but I think I tweeted out that I'm willing to put college rivalries aside. Once you become a Bengal, I'm no longer worried about where you went to college. I realize people go to different colleges for a lot of different reasons, and I'm ready to let that go. But Michigan did have a great defense. I mean, unfortunately, Ohio State saw that when they played them last year. So, I think that I'm sure he's going to be a great player for us. So.
I wish I remember who tweeted it, but I saw someone say that the Bengals are turning into the Legion of Zoom because of how speedy we are.
I love that.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good. I wish I remember who tweeted it.
Oh, Christina says, Michigan fan here. We're going to be very happy with him. Well, that's great, Christina. Yeah, I had talked to some Michigan fans who are excited about him. Greg says Michigan taking over Ohio State players on the Bengals. Yeah, they might. There might be some locker room infighting with all that going on. I feel like it was like Chris Evans was one of the only ones for a while, and then I feel like we drafted some guys last year, but yeah, it's funny. But all right. And then pick number 95 was Jordan Battle. He's a safety from Alabama. Some of the things that were said about him was that he's versatile, that he can fill a variety of the safety positions, and that someone said he had the best instincts in the draft. So I thought that was pretty high praise. I feel like instincts is something you can't really coach or teach, so that's exciting. But again, not somebody I watched a lot, but I'm excited about him.
And Luke was praising his character, right, at the presser.
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
He's a really good character guy. So
yeah, we love
like Von Bell and like some of our core, character guys. I think that's really important to keep that.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely think it's something that this coaching staff prioritizes, even maybe not above talent, but I don't think that they would reach on a guy that had questionable character just because of his talent. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think it's everything, but I do think it's important to this coaching staff. So I'm happy to see that they're kind of continuing that trend. So, all right. And then pick number 131 was wide receiver Charlie Jones from Purdue. People said that he was shifty and that he was a good route runner. So that's exciting. We love a good route runner. But, I think it's going to be really interesting to see how some of these position battles shake out in the training camp season, wide receiver, running back. We're going to have some pretty tough competitions coming up. So that'll be really interesting.
Competition's a good thing.
Guys...
Yep. Absolutely.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think it just makes everybody better. When you're competing for your job, you've got to bring your A game every single day to practice. And I think that's a good thing for these guys for sure. So.
And how amazing for these young guys to be playing with some of the best players in those positions.
I know. Can you imagine being a wide receiver and going to the team where Jamar Chase went? I mean,
and Joe Burrow's the quarterback.
And Joe Burrow's your quarterback, right? Like he's obviously going to make you look good, right? Greg says Chuck Sizzle. All right. Yep. All right. And then we've got pick 163 was running back Chase Brown from Illinois. Somebody said, and I quote, built by a power back, but has genuine straight line speed that is weaponized by short area burst, explosion, and the ability to cut on a dime. I had to quote that whole thing because it was so good. I was like, I could never say that better than that person just said it right there. So probably should have put their name on that quote, but I did not. So I apologize to whoever said that. Straight off the Bengals website. But that I think he's really exciting. And I'm sure you guys have heard the story by now, but he's a twin and his brother is Sidney Brown and he got drafted by the Eagles and they have a really cool backstory. And I actually linked, there's a 12-minute video that I watched today and I cried my freaking eyes out. It's a 12-minute YouTube clip and it's linked in the description and it's worth your time to watch it. It's a really good story. It's basically, you've seen The Blind Side. It's basically that his mother was homeless and they were homeless while they were growing up in Canada. And his mother sent them away to Florida, of all places, from Canada to Florida to go to live with another family, to go to this private school, to get a good education and learn football really well because they were always in football. Even when they were in the homeless shelter, she made sure that they stayed in football. And it was just this really amazing story about this single mother who had struggled and the whole family had struggled. There was addiction issues and all kinds of things. And so the fact that they, basically came from absolutely nothing and have now both been drafted. I mean, you think about having a kid drafted into the NFL, having two kids drafted in the same draft in the NFL. I mean, how awesome is that? So it's a really cool story. And the funny thing is like they're mirror twins. So they're like, they're exact opposites. So he's a running back and his brother plays, I think, safety or cornerback or something like that. But it's just a really cool story. So I'm a sucker for anything like that. So
me too.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's worth your time, even though I just basically summarized it and ruined the end. It's still worth your time to watch it. But all right. And then with pick number 206, we got wide receiver Andre Yoshivash from Princeton. He went to a fancy school, y'all. So I'm sure he's real smart. So that's good. And the other thing that I like about this guy is I don't know what his relationship status is, but whoever he's got in his life, they don't have to change their colors. They get to keep all their stuff because Princeton is the orange and black Tigers. So the fact that his mom, his girlfriend, wife, whoever he's got in his life, they get to keep all their same stuff. Just really, that's something I would care about.
Absolutely.
As someone who was on the receiving end of a lot of Bengals gear when coaches move, I feel like it's always a very sad thing to have to kind of move on and change colors and change gear. So I was excited about that for him. But, obviously he went to Princeton. So he went to the fancy school, not the school where they played a lot of, crazy hard teams. So he didn't play against a lot of high level competition in college, but he has potential, and I think that he's, they're getting him at a good time. I forget, somebody said something about, see if I can find the comment again. Maybe my intern can find the comment. There was a comment about Yoshi Bosch being, I forget what it was now. I have to read it again, but they were glad we got Yoshi Bosch. So, yeah, so that's exciting. I feel like all these late round guys, it's like, you never know. They could be awesome. They could be okay, they could be on the practice squad, but so I like the late round guys and the undrafted guys because I feel like that you just never know. It could be anything. Oh, Greg said steal the draft. Maybe that's the one I was thinking of. Sorry, Greg. I read them and then they completely leave my brain. Oh wait, I clicked on the wrong one. Sorry. Tyler says rumor is that the Blackburns won't let a Princeton grad in the stadium because they all went to Dartmouth. But Kristen's here. Hi, Kristen. She says he's super athletic track and field star. Well, that's awesome. Yeah. Oh, Cap says Hoosh Manzada was a 7th rounder. That's pretty awesome. We all know how that turned out. That was great for everybody. So, yeah, exactly. So, I love that. Okay. And then pick number 217 is the punter. Brad Robbins, another Michigan guy. And somebody brought this up and I tweeted about it, so you may have seen it, but he wore number 91 at Michigan and Drew Chrisman wore number 91 at Ohio State.
Oh.
And now they're competing for the same punting job. So that's fun. But he excels in hang time. I think he had the best hang time in college football. So that's great. I love that. I love getting good special teams guys. I hope maybe, if we could get the Money Mac equivalent of a punter, we would just be unstoppable. And then somebody was like, we don't need a punter. We're never going to punt. Which, hey, I like that. I like that strain of thought too, but I love having a good, reliable punter. We had for so many years.
Yeah. Wasn't we used the pick from Kansas City to get a punter? Isn't that kind of funny?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was the one we traded. They received the trade pick received from trade with Kansas City. If I could read, that would be good. And yes, he is the one with the mustache. That is Mr. Mustache.
Big fan.
What? Hunters are people too. If you haven't seen his mustache, please do yourself a favor and go see it. It is literally like the crazy. He looks like a cartoon character. He's got this crazy handlebar mustache. No other facial hair, none. So the mustache is the star of the show, and it is glorious. People said it looked like the bad guy in Sonic. I know Cap tweeted out the GIF from Ace Ventura, the yuppie people, the bald guy that looked like the Monopoly guy. The jokes just write themselves, honestly, for him. So I'm rooting for him.
I was irrationally annoyed that we traded with Kansas City. I know it's going to work out for us, but still, I was just in my feelings for 5 minutes about it. Just we hate Kansas City at this point.
Of all the people to trade with, right?
I tweeted, I was like, I just hope Duke called their GM a pancake eating MFer before he hung up that phone call.
I loved that tweet. I retweeted it. That brought me no end of happiness. So. All right. And then our last pick of the draft, pick number 246, was cornerback DJ Ivey from Miami of Florida. And the only thing I read about him was that he has nice size. And Whitney's not even here to make a joke about that, but we'll pretend like she said something hilarious about that. But overall, I thought we had a really good draft. You know, obviously, I would give it an A. Of course, you're always going to have people on Twitter who don't know anything about anything, complaining about things. But, you know, PFF gave it an A. NFL.com gave it an A-. ESPN gave us a B+. And we all know they can never find anything good to say about us. So the fact that they gave us a B+, I think, shows progress. So overall,
CBS
really
gave us
draft.
an A.
What?
I said CBS gave us an A.
Yeah, so I really feel like the general consensus was that this was a really good draft for us. And I love the fact that they, you know, all the guys they took were above average on the RAS and were, you know, that they got all these best player availables. And I feel like that's what you get. That's what you get when you have such a good, complete team already, is that you just get better and better and better by upgrading little by little, by just drafting these good players and developing them, because it's not like you don't have to reach for a position that you need so badly, because you have, you know, a really great team already. And then it's like everything that they get, they can help develop, they can rotate them in. They're not going to leave them out there for a whole game and, you know, things like that. So I love that about where we're at as an organization. So, oh, McKenna said they are to be referred to as the Kansas City Cheats. I agree, McKenna, 100%. Rob says linebacker Jalen Moody, Alabama, is a Bengals undrafted free agent who both Jets and Berg fans wanted. Yeah, that brings me to our undrafted free agents. So I think we got a few interesting guys there too, you know, and I always root for the undrafted guys. I love a good underdog story. You know, you look at Vontaze Burfict was a undrafted free agent. He's like the number one that comes to mind when I think of really successful undrafted free agents, but there's always potential there. So I'm always rooting for these guys. But we got, let's see here. I'm going to get my right screen here. We got, oh gosh, I didn't pronounce these names. Devonsha Maxwell. I'm so sorry if I said that name wrong. He's a D lineman from Tennessee, Chattanooga. We got Jacob Sallers. He's a running back from East Tennessee. We've got Jackson Kirkland, guard from Washington. Jalen Moody, linebacker, Alabama. Larry Brooks III, safety from Tulane. Mac Hippenhammer. That might be my favorite name in the whole draft. Wide receiver from Miami of Ohio. So that's exciting. There's our local guy. And Shedrick Jackson, wide receiver from Auburn. Yay, Auburn. My family's from Auburn. So I'm not a huge Auburn fan, but I always hope to see them do well. They haven't done well in a long time, bless their hearts. So I'm always pulling for them. But yeah, so that's exciting. It's exciting to see how these camp battles are going to shake out. And
Drop the hip and hammer.
Drop the hip and hammer. Cap says. Anyway.
I missed you guys so much.
I missed you guys. This is so fun. Oh, anyway. So yeah, that's our draft class. Those are undrafted guys. And then, you know, we didn't really talk about all the offseason transactions that we made. So we can kind of quickly talk about some of those, because I'm excited about the tight end Irv Smith Jr., like we talked about. And, you know, it's interesting because I think people were really expecting the Bengals to take a tight end in the draft. And I think there was a lot of people that were confused as to why they didn't. And then some people are saying, oh, they don't value the tight end. And I think it's a little more nuanced than that. I don't think you can just say like, they don't care about tight ends. But, you know, when you have Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd all on the field at the same time, and then you're drafting these amazing wide receivers, and then you have our guys like Trent Irwin and Trent Taylor, who are just waiting in the wings, who can step in and make really great plays when they need to. I feel like it's not like you have to reach on a tight end, because you absolutely have to have a tight end. And plus we'd already gotten Irv Smith Jr. So, I feel like that's kind of why maybe they didn't take a tight end in the draft, but I'm excited about him. I think it's going to be good. I wonder if they'll keep him around or if they'll kind of do the Hayden Hurst thing where they will just do the 1-year contract and then kind of move on. So we'll see. We'll have to see how that shakes out, but definitely interesting. And then, of course, our birthday boy, offensive tackle Orlando Brown, 4-year contract. That was super exciting, I think, to everybody because I think the line is going to be in the backs of our minds for a long time now, even though they were a lot better last year. They did, unfortunately, all get injured at the same time last year. So I think that a lot of people are going to be – that's going to be a sensitive subject for a lot of Bengals fans for a long time. So I'm glad that they are continuing to address that in free agency. And again, not really reach in the draft on guys that they didn't want. I'm sure that there were tight ends that they would have wanted. I'm sure there were O-linemen that they would have wanted, but they went before we got our turn to pick. So it is what it is at that point. So, but Craig says, where were all of you when you found out about the Orlando Brown signing? I don't know, Greg. Where were you, Greg? I was probably at work. I have no idea. Yeah. Wait, was it the one that happened in the middle of the night?
Yeah.
It was like at 10:30.
I was 100% asleep in my bed when that happened.
I almost went to bed early that night.
What'd you say, Kayla?
I just finished Survivor and I turned in for the night early and I woke up to like 22 text messages and I was like, what happened? And I found out.
Yeah.
I woke Caleb up at 5 a.m. to find out about the news. So.
I think I even tweeted that I was going to bed early because, when I work, I have to get up at 3:45 in the morning to go to work. So when I work, I go to bed at like 9 o'clock at night. 10 o'clock is pushing it for me when I have to work the next day. So I think I even tweeted about having to go to bed. And then I woke up, I wake up at 3:45. I look at my phone and it's like, poof, like all this news. I was like so happy. So that was amazing. But
I was on my couch up here because I'm upstairs tonight. And I just looked at my phone and I looked at my husband and I just like started crying. And he's like, what is wrong? Because I had like a gasp.
Oh no, Jerry. Did you think somebody died again?
No, he absolutely did.
Like with the Sam Hubbard thing?
But I gasped because of the way we structured the deal. I was like, no, like we structured it. And I don't want to say like everybody else, but historically we don't structure deals like that. So that just made me super, super excited that, not only is the team, getting on board with everything in today's age, but like the office is as well. So that just made me super excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, Greg says, I was getting ready to go to sleep. And then we all found out we did an emergency rally around the Natty Show at 10:30 at night. Was it that early? Oh, man. I had just missed it then, probably. That's so funny. I love that you guys did an emergency session.
Listen, if we were getting – I don't think I could do an emergency session.
I start my emergency. No.
Yeah.
2 hours of planning. Matt says, I remember, Greg, I sent you guys the message after I picked my jaw back up off the floor. Yeah, that was a good one. That was a really good one. And I feel like they're just every year they just push that narrative further and further that these are not your daddy's Bengals. These are not your grandpa's Bengals. These are the new Bengals. These are the Queen Elizabeth Blackburn Bengals, and they are here to shake things up and to do things the right way. They want to be the team that wins the Super Bowl that goes back year after year. They want to be the team that has the most excited fans and wants to get engaged with their fans. They're doing all these things. They want to be the team that's going to pay these guys the money that they need. And I think that that's another big reason why they went after a lot of defensive guys. They are structuring contracts the way they are. They picked up Joe Burrow's 5th-year option. They're doing all of these things to kind of solidify this future for this team. And it's just so exciting. But Matt says, these are your Zach Taylor Bengals, baby. Yeah. Craig says, I thought it was a fake account when I read that. What was a fake account? The message from Matt.
Oh.
Like, who is Bengals and Bourbon? That is so funny. All right, Rob's got our details for us. Orlando Brown signed a 4-year, $64 million contract with the Bengals. $31.1 million is guaranteed. Thank you for that, Rob. Yeah. So yeah, that's amazing. And then of course, back in February, we claimed quarterback Chris Lamons off of waivers from Kansas City, and another O lineman Cody Ford to a 1-year contract. Re-signed Travion, my little buddy. I'm excited for Travion. I'm excited to see how the running backs situation is going to shake out too with all these guys. You know, we lost P. Ryan, which was sad, but I'm glad he got what he wanted, and I wish him nothing but the best. But I think it's going to be really interesting because I think Joe Mixon is going to obviously be number 1, and then I think Travion and Chris Evans are going to be battling it out for number 2. And obviously Travion's my little buddy, so I'm rooting for him. But then, you know, with these draft picks, with Chase Brown, you know, where is he going to fit in? Where, you know, and then it's going to be interesting what they do on special teams. You know, who's going to be returning the kickoffs? Who's going to be returning the punts? It's going to be really interesting. Now, the one thing I think I read right before this was that Chase Brown had some issues with fumbles. Is that right? Maybe.
Yeah. And he also was in a lot more because I think that his usage was really high compared to other.
I did hear that.
Yeah. So that might contribute to the fumble. But yeah, I saw that too. It was like 6 fumbles last year or something.
Yeah. So he's going to need to clean that up. So I'm hoping maybe they can kind of, by being behind all these guys that have been in the league a long time, because you've got to think Trayvon Williams. I mean, what is this, like 4 or 5 years in the league now? Yeah. You know, he's a smart guy. He knows the system. And I think they can teach these young guys that have been drafted. I think they can really teach them a lot. Same with wide receiver. So I'm very excited. Yep. Greg said we touched on
a huge year. Yeah.
Yeah. Competition brings out the best in everyone. Absolutely. Yep. But yep. Matt said competition is fierce all around the team, breeds success. Yep. So that it's going to be such an exciting summer, you guys. I can't wait to go to training camp. And I'm so excited for Bengals football to be back. I always feel like the draft is kind of where it starts. You know, you start getting excited and the schedule comes out and then you make all your travel plans and then you're doing all kinds of fun stuff to get ready. And then, you know, honestly, I feel like the beginning of the season and training camp is like my favorite time as a Bengals fan because the weather is warm. There's all this potential possibility, you know, anything could happen. So this is my favorite time of the Bengal season is the kind of the preseason and the training camp and stuff like that. So I'm excited.
Do we know when the schedule comes out? It comes out soon, right?
Soon. I think May 11th is what I heard.
Okay.
Yeah, next Thursday. So I actually have to make my work schedule by this weekend. So that doesn't really bode well for me. I'm waiting to the very last second to find out if they can I think in years past, they've announced the international games like a week early. So I'm really hoping that they will announce the international games before this weekend. So I know if I'm taking a large European trip in the fall, because if I'm taking a large European trip in the fall, I'm not taking a large Caribbean trip in the summer. So I need to figure this out. But honestly, I have the time. I'll probably just I'll take off for both and figure it out along the way. But yeah, it's very, very exciting stuff. So are you guys, Jerry, are you planning on coming up to some games this year? What are your plans so far? Do you have any solid plans yet?
So we kept our season tickets and I'm really excited to actually get to use them this year for more than just 2 games. So I'm going to try to come to as many as possible. If the Jacksonville, I have a bad feeling, and I know you're excited about an international game. I don't know if an international game will be doable for me this year. But I feel like if there is an international game, it would be with Jacksonville.
Possible.
So
yeah.
I'm selfishly hoping that game stays in Jacksonville because that's only like a 3-hour drive for me. And then the other away game that I'm most likely going to will probably be the San Francisco game because my boss said if I don't go to that game, I'm fired. So.
Okay. Well, that's amazing. I'm definitely, if Jacksonville is in Jacksonville, I'm 100% already going. So that one is for sure. I would love to go to San Francisco. Last time I was in San Francisco, I think I was like 18 or 19 years old. So I've never really truly been to San Francisco. And then obviously I would love to go to Arizona. I was there for spring training, for Red Spring Training, and it was fabulous. I would love to go back there again. I would stay in my same Airbnb. The Airbnb lady was so sweet. So I would stay in my same Airbnb if we went back there. So I am definitely looking forward to that. And yeah, and then obviously all the home games. So I also would like you to drag Whitney up here to a home game, Jerry, please. And
that
are you
goes
going to bring?
without saying.
Are you going to bring Archer to any games? When are you going to start bringing him to games?
I don't know when. We'll bring him up in September most likely, because we're probably going to bring him and the dogs and just do a big old family vacation to Cincinnati in September to see everybody. But how young is too young?
I see tiny babies there all the time. I see them being worn with their little headphones on. So yeah. I see people wearing their babies, but I totally understand. I don't think I could wear a baby at a game because that baby might be dead by the end of the game because I jump around a lot. And I don't know if that's okay
Brian
to
would
do.
be wearing him for sure.
Okay.
We all know I am a liability.
If you wear the baby. Yeah. That would be probably a very tragic thing if that happened with me. So yeah, but I see tiny babies there. But I think it's all up to, I think it's everybody's got to make their own choices with that, because I feel like, what's right for one family is not going to be right for everybody. So I totally get that. But
what's funny is the people next to us, his girlfriend was pregnant and she was due a month after I was. So that might just be the baby section now.
Yeah. Oh, news out of New York. Giants and Jets rumored to be September 11th game for Monday Night Football, and Giants versus Eagles on Black Friday. Yes, Black Friday. Any schedule leak so far? No. I think they leak sometimes the really big games sometimes, but Kath says no baby checking at referees. Why would anyone think of that? Nobody's throwing a baby.
That would be horrible.
Oh my gosh. Woo, rally around the Natties here. What's up? Guys, thanks for being here. He says, I think we're going to Nashville. Oh, yeah, I forgot about Nashville. We'll probably go to that one, too. I'm going to get to the point where I'm going to, like, every game, and my work's just going to hate me. I'm going to make everyone trade me all my weekends. Matt says, Jerry, we have to unite the lucky babies. Yeah, Matt, you guys should bring your baby, too. That'd be so cute. Tinkling Blue. I think this... Trickling blue, tinkling, tinkling, trickling. I can't read. I apologize.
It's not a Tigress talk show if we don't mess something up.
I can't. I'm sorry. Trickling blue. You might be new here. I don't recognize your name. I just messed it up, and I'm really sorry.
Please come back.
If you're new here, just know that happens all the time. It will happen again. I mispronounce stuff all the time. Did you hear about DJ Reader joking about Miles Murphy's jersey number? He's open to offers.
I did see that.
Did you see that? So what's he going to sell it to him? Is that what he said?
He said, make me an offer. Write down an offer.
That's amazing. That's awesome. Thank you so much for that. Trickling blue. I did not see that, so that's awesome. Oh boy. Well, thank you guys all so much for being here with us tonight. It was a fun way to welcome everybody back, and we will. I'm not sure we're ready to do weekly shows yet. We'll kind of do it. We'll probably do another one after the schedule gets announced, maybe in the next week or so. But then we'll kind of do them just as the news breaks. We'll kind of be sporadic for now, and then once the training camp stuff gets going, then we'll do them more regularly. And then obviously once preseason and the regular season starts, we will be doing shows weekly again. So thank you guys all so much for being here tonight. Thank you to our sponsors. This is not our normal show. If this is your first time joining us, this is not our normal show. We normally have segments, and we have some wonderful sponsors that we need to mention. We have Brimminghorn Meadery. These are our buddies, and they just won, the best rural small business in Delaware or something. They won some awesome award, and we're so proud of them. And we thank them so much for sending us their mead. I'm drinking this one tonight. It's delicious. It is Seducing the Sun God Raisin Mead, and it's really, really good. Code Tigress gets you 15% off 2 or more bottles of mead. Also, thank you to our jewelry sponsor. All the stuff is linked in the description, but we've got our awesome Bengals jewelry. Make sure you guys are checking her out. Sara Sella. That name just completely left my brain. I'm so glad it decided to come back in at the last minute because I was coming up with it at all. So I apologize, Sarah. Make sure you guys check out Sara Sella. Links are in the description. So thank you guys all so much for being here. And we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys soon, I hope. Anybody got any final words?
Nah, just WHODEY.
WHODEY. Oh, Lisa says, such a great episode. Thank you, Lisa. Thanks for being here. We appreciate all you guys so much for being here. And we will see you soon. WHODEY, everybody.
WHODEY.